so I'll try to keep this interesting. First, I want to thank the Ohio Agents Association for inviting State Auto and me to be here. It's quite an honor to be here. I want to talk to you about change. If you're an insurance industry person, whether you've been in the industry for 5 years or like me, almost getting 36 or so, 37 years, we've talked about change before, and most of us, when that happens, our eyes roll back in our head. Yeah, we talk about it. And we are an industry that, quite frankly, hasn't changed that much over the years. Not significantly, not in a country that has endured a lot of change. But I would implore you by saying this time it is for real. The amount of change that's coming to our industry is going to come, it's going to come fast, and it's going to impact our industry significantly, both on the carrier side and on the agency side, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Whatever buzzwords you want to choose, sensors, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, big data, robotics, they're all happening, and they're all happening right now. Little old State Auto down the road, we are leveraging robotics very significantly. We are using drones very significantly today. We are using sensor-based work to give discounts. Telematics is a sensor-based change. Smart home technology, where we give discounts, is a sensor-based change. These changes are happening to our industry, and if we're not ready as an industry to adapt to them, we will die. I would submit to you that there's a lot of small insurance companies, a lot of small mutuals, a lot of small regionals who are, quite frankly, dead men walking. Because if they don't have the ability to adapt to this change, and the ability means the leadership to do it, the financial capacity to do it, the guts, the willingness to do it, and the board of directors to support it, they're going to have a very difficult time in moving forward. At State Auto, as we came on board about 2.5 years ago now, we knew that we were becoming a very irrelevant organization. We weren't keeping up. So we made a very bold decision to go completely digital. People talk about digital, they drop that buzzword all the time, but we are the first insurance company to actually go digital. What does that mean? That means that when you buy in most of our states, and by the end of this year for all of our states, a new policy for home or for auto, you will buy that digitally just like you were buying something on Amazon. No paper, no cash, no checks, simply digital, no postage. You buy from us just like you would buy via Amazon. Now for some agents, that's been hard to adapt to. Understandable, some of your customers still like cash, and it's very, very important that you focus in that space. Now we, as State Auto, I think have an obligation to help in this space. Because it's one thing to say to you, look, we're going fully digital, take it or leave it. And I know that some agents are frustrated by the fact that that's the only way we do business. But you got to understand that as a small carrier, we can't be all things to all people. If I tried to offer a digital way of doing business and then make some exceptions and do paper over here or accept checks over here, I'm going to go down that same rat hole that too many insurance carriers have gone down, and we become a very inefficient partner of yours. And we have no value to you if we become inefficient. So we're going to be a digital expert. We're going to provide that marketplace for you. I understand that you have lots of options, and for customers who don't want to do business that way, you certainly have other opportunities. But we're going to do more than just that. We're going to try to bring you with us. We're going to try to bring you forward through this digital process. So one of the things that we're doing is we put together, I think some of you have met Clint Houck. I think he's in the room somewhere here today, and I believe he'll have a chance maybe even to talk to you a little bit tomorrow. And we have Clint working on a process right now and a little company inside of State Auto that will help you get better in the digital space. Help you from the basics of website design to the ability to drive customers to your site through better search engine optimization, all the way up to and including letting you better understand the data and analytics behind this type of business. Because that's the piece that you don't often get when you talk to external sources. And we're going to try to put together kind of a co-op program. Remember the bad old days where we used to like co-op on a yellow page ad? Well, this is the same type of idea where the co-oping now would be about getting your digital presence stronger, where we can work together to get you there. That would allow folks like you to get better at driving customers to your website. Now, the challenge for you today is that once they get there, you kind of go old school, right? Because you get there at 9 o'clock at night, it's unlikely you're working at 9 o'clock tonight, so you got to reconnect with them the next day. Maybe you do it through blogging, or maybe you do it through texting, or maybe you just pick up the phone and call them, but you have to reconnect with them that next day typically, or in some different way than they would normally want to interact. Well, the other thing we're doing when we're building this digital system, by the end of this year, no later than early next year, we're also going to allow you to white label our site. So if that customer comes in late at night and our white label is up, you can put a button on your website that says, I'd like a quote. They hit the quote button, they come into our site. But it's white labeled, so they believe they're still within the agency's web service, and they go through and they get a quote. Now after that, if they want to buy, there'll be a buy button, and they can purchase it right then, or you can decide that you only want them to quote because you want to wait till the next day, or you want to offer a couple other options out there. Those are all things that we can work out together. But I tell you that because we're not going down the digital path and say, take it or leave it. We want to bring you with us, because we have no interest in selling directly to the consumer. We have no interest in doing anything but selling through that intermediated process of a strong agency relationship who has built those relationships and adds value at that point of sale, even if they buy it directly. Because you might say, well, if they buy it directly, where am I in this process? Because you're going to get the same amount of commission whether you talk to them the next day or whether they just hit that buy button. Well, here's the other beauty of this process, right? Because when you get that customer, you can interact with them and you can build that relationship any way that you choose to. You can set up inside of your agency for all the customers you've gotten digitally, you can blog with them. You can set up a process where customers in a small commercial space who are all florists talk to each other. And you can allow them to find ways to buy supplies at a cheaper rate. You can build a service relationship that may be different than golfing together or going to the JC meeting or the Little League meeting or your church together, but you can still build that relationship in a way that has value to them. Just like you can build the ability to drive those customers to you differently than you did before. The real key here, folks, is that State Auto, a small little company in Columbus, Ohio, is changing rapidly. We're very proud of what we've done. I'm very proud of that team. We've got a lot of great, terrific associates. We see a future where the technology, where the consumer is going to drive a level of change that we as an organization have to embrace. We have no choice. So this digital move by us allows us to adapt as that technology comes into play, whether it's sensor-based changes, artificial intelligence, Bitcoin, whatever it is, that platform will allow us to embrace and win in that change. But the most important thing is that we want our agents with us. We can't do this alone. We can only do this together. We can only win together, and we need you as part of that. And I know for a fact that just like others have said before, through this amount of change, there will be some, I hate to say it, some roadkill along the way. But the people that embrace the change are going to win in a very significant way. This is indeed the best time to be an independent insurance agent. Because if you're flexible, if you're willing to embrace the change, if you're smart, if you're resilient, and you're passionate about your business, change creates a huge amount of opportunity for you to win. Is it going to change overnight? No. I'm not standing here and saying the sky's falling and you got to run out of here. Next day when you go to work Friday or you go to work Monday, it's going to be the same grind. You're going to be pounding away on those stupid old DOS screens and those old PCs and all that other crap that you have to deal with, including when you deal with some of our systems. But it is changing. And so keep doing what you're doing, but embrace that change and prepare for that change. And if you do, I believe we will together win. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.